Welcome back, everybody. It's good to see you again. Now, for those of you who've been reading the blog, you've seen that I've talked about different types of technology and how to implement it into schools and classrooms and things, but I haven't really talked about what it looks like, and I know that may be something that many of you are wondering. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a virtual tour of a technology school. The one we're going to talk about is Bloomington High School North in Bloomington, Indiana. So before we get talking about the details about how technology implemented in classrooms look, I just want to give a general overview of what Bloomington High School North looks like. First of all, it's one of two high schools in Bloomington, Indiana, the other of which is Bloomington High School South. The student population of North is approximately 1,600 students, sometimes fluctuates plus or minus 50 students, and currently it's not one-to-one with technology, where students either have iPads, or all of the students have iPads, or Google Chromebooks, or anything like that, but it's moving towards this initiative. For those of you who read the blog post about my job shadow with Mark Sturgeon, who works in the technology department at North, you can see that the technology is there, but not all of the teachers have necessarily embraced this yet. For my field experience this semester at Bloomington High School North, my cooperating teacher is Brittany Burns. She's a math teacher there who teaches Algebra 1, Algebra 2 Honors, and Pre-Cal Honors. As you can see in these pictures, she's using a Promethean board to teach her students. She's able to write on it with the marker that's provided. She's able to make notes, drawings, work, examples, anything like that, and students are able to follow along either with guided notes in paper, or they're able to use their iPads and write on any interactive whiteboard app that they have there. Some of the benefits of using the Promethean board, at least for her class, are she's able to save all of her work to her computer, so she's able to distribute it to students who have missed a class or maybe just need a refresher on some of the material. Additionally, if she wants students to use the iPads to follow along, she can use different iPad applications such as Nearpod, which will allow her to distribute the presentation to individual iPads for each student, and then when problems come up and she wants them to work on them, she's able to distribute individual problems, students work on it, submit it, and she's able to keep track of everything that's going on with her students. One additional benefit of her using the Promethean board in her classroom is she's able to sync up everything to her computer. So everything she writes on the board goes directly to her computer, and that's how she's able to save everything. If we take a look here, this is just one lesson that she was working on, or one example rather in the lesson for one of her classes. I think this was an Algebra 2 class that we were working on composition of functions. And when she was writing everything on the board, it went directly to her computer, so she's able to save it easily. This picture over here is talking, again, about composition of functions, but it's talking about domain and range. And again, she's able to work on the examples with the students, save it to her computer, so she's able to distribute it as needed. Moving on over to the student side of things, this is what technology in a classroom could look like from a student's perspective. This first picture over here is the cart full of iPads. There's roughly about 30 in each cart. And again, for those of you who have read the blog about when I shadowed Mark Sturgeon, there was an image there talking about the carts of iPads and them being updated and everything that Mark needs to do to make sure that the students can use them to their full potential. This middle picture is a picture of a student using an app called EduCreations. Now, for those of you who have heard of this version of EduCreations is actually an older version on these iPads, simply because they don't have the newest versions yet. They just haven't been updated. And one of the things that I really, really like about it is how it's able to be used for differentiation and accommodation for students that have certain needs, specifically for students who have visual impairments or things like that. For instance, you're able to change the size of the ink, quote-unquote ink, of what you write in, so you're able to make things either larger or smaller so students can see what all is going on. Additionally, Brittany Burns gives the students styluses so that they can write on the iPad, so they don't need to use their fingers, so they're able to write more clearly, more concisely, and they're able to see, again, everything that they write. Additionally, something that's really, really cool about EduCreations, at least this version, is students are able to invert the colors. So for students who have sensitivity to bright colors like white or yellow or anything like that, they're able to invert the colors, so black becomes white becomes black, blue becomes orange, and so on. So those are just a couple features from the student side that could really be useful. So having all of these pictures of what's going on in Ms. Burns' classroom and in the rest of the high school are useful. It's cool to see how technology is being used in a classroom this way. But what about any live action footage? What about filming students using this, or filming the teacher using the Promethean boards in person? Unfortunately, there were a couple technical issues that I was unable to figure out and get ready in order to make this blog post for you guys. So what I'm going to do is, once I get that video, which should be sometime later this week, I will do either one of two things. I will either add on to this screencast, or I'll make a new video with just the video part of it, and I'll be talking over that, giving you guys a walkthrough of the school and the classroom, and having it as a second video on the blog post so you guys will be able to see some of it live action and in person. But other than that technical glitch, thank you very much for going through a virtual tour of Bloomington High School North and seeing how technology is implemented into a school and a classroom. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you learned a little bit too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.